to Advertising Champions, your go-to destination for insights into the dynamic world of advertising. I'm Tony Stanol, and with us today is Alison Clark, who is with Marcus Thomas. And welcome, Alison.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, you're the chief uh, client and growth officer at Marcus Thomas, and it's a relatively new job for you. You've only been there just over a year now. You
Correct.
obviously worked at other agencies first, and tell us, compare and contrast Marcus Thomas to where you've been before.
Oh my gosh. There's some similarities and some differences. So I've grown up in the account management space. I've been at the small shops, independent shops. I've been at the larger holding company agencies, and I liken Marcus Thomas to the perfect middle, where it's just right, where we're independent, but we're large enough and diverse enough in our thinking and our the expertise we bring to the table that it just feels like the right agency that we can be really nimble and fix a lot of problems, but look at it from a lot of depth of thought between all of our what we call communities of practice, COPs, another word for departments. We've
Hmm.
got a lot of really great, smart, amazing thinkers that I'm really, really proud to be here.
So you're like the Goldilocks. You're just
A little
right.
bit.
And I was surprised to see how many people are there. You've got how many employees now?
We're just a little north of 275,
Wow.
and we've got offices. It was so, and we're Cleveland based, but I'm here in Minneapolis, and we've got folks. I think it's 16 or 17 states within the U.S. And a huge presence in Latam, in Buenos Aires and Chile, and a couple other places in South America. So and beyond. So we've got a lot of we're open to talent wherever they happen to live and want to include them in our thinking. So we're pretty flexible in that way.
Now, was that the case pre-COVID? I know you weren't there then, but was Marcus Thomas as distributed in the, uh, past 5 years compared to today?
Good question. I think we were much more Cleveland based. A lot more folks, even though we had kind of a Youngstown offshoot, which is about an hour away, an office there where we have some folks that still pop into those offices. But the biggest LATAM growth and presence came through an acquisition in they're going to kill me. I think it's 2019. So just pre-COVID, but an acquisition of a lot of great folks within the Salesforce world. So that's where especially the Latam presence came into the Marcus Thomas fold.
That's an interesting addition to an independent U.S. agency to have a Latin American connection, and I think it's vital these days with a lot of multicultural work being done, and Hispanic agencies coming and going, and that. But it sounds like that people working remotely at least in the United States is an offshoot of the results of COVID and some of the impact that working conditions endured post COVID. And we were talking a little about that before the show. What are some of your observations about people, about talent?
Yes. Well, and I think, and the one thing with I'd love to say, give a plug to our LATAM friends. It's all about talent down there. It's all about, and this is not just, expanding into more of a multicultural space, but we've got a lot of great account management staff, production staff, developer staff, creative staff that are just exceptional. So we're really excited, and I think that's this is I don't know if Marcus Thomas would have brought me into this role pre-COVID,
Mm.
and they had the foresight to say, we believe in bringing in talent wherever they may live, and we want to do the right thing and the best thing for the agency. But we do believe that we're better together and have a lot of intentional moments where we have quarterlies or thirdlies if it's just 3 times a year, but moments where we want to be in the office together and connect on big topics. We're going to have our next big meeting later this month or later in October. So I think
Mhm.
the world of COVID has expanded our talent pool, which is exceptional. But I think there's just something about being together. And I personally travel to Cleveland quite a bit just to be around. And there's always at least one or two or three conversations that I know I never would have had the same depth or the same richness to that conversation if it was just over video, present company excluded, of course. But
Mhm.
just having that those intentional connection moments, we just feel like there's a lot of better together in that too.
Right. It's management by walking around, if as it used to be stated.
Yeah,
But
you know,
yeah,
the good old days, we used to pop into all the conference rooms. You can see what's going on with all the different accounts, or, I've been at shops where there's the wall of work for this wall is
right.
this account, this wall is that account. And you don't have that same access to the work or ideas or teams or thinking. So you have to be really intentional about those connection moments when people are at home. So I think it makes it more purposeful to make sure that we're having those many of those conversations as we can, starting on video, but extending to in person when we can as well.
Right. Right. Sounds good. Well, as part of the new executive team, we'll be looking for great things from Marcus Thomas. And what's your kind of unofficial slogan? The greatest little agency you haven't heard of yet? Is that, am I paraphrasing?
That's absolutely that you haven't heard of yet, and but we all, it's a yes, and we want to be the best independent agency to work for and with. So we want to make sure that we're creating, first and foremost, taking care of our people, our culture, our amazing talent, supporting them with what they need. But when we make ourselves great, we make our clients great, and we can then do the best work possible for our clients that we care so much about.
Well, very good. Thanks for joining us for this conversation today, Allison.
So happy. Thank you for the invite. Lovely to see you as always.
And thank you for tuning into this episode of
We've been
Advertising
around for
Champions.
16 years,
You can find
working
out
with
more about
clients,
us at
thousands of
dailynewsnetwork.com,
clients.
and we
We're
will
working
see you
with
next time.
agencies to be able to scale them and grow them and provide them services that would cost them way more than it would for them to do it themselves. Anything oriented around lead generation, video creation, web design, we're full service, so we can really serve most people.